Crypto Kids, as expected, inflation data came out to be much lower since crude oil prices capitulated in the month of June. We got the June CPI data launched in July. There's always that 1 month lag. And our basis was that, hey, 80% of energy price movement is what really creates the volatility in the United States CPI data. So with that June 33% capitulation, which took place as we were going in a pathway of reaching conclusive peace. Memorandum of understandings were signed 10 days ago that all flipped 180 degrees in now a very dangerous manner. For the month of June, it was expectable that we get that correction in US CPI data. We fell by 70 basis points. We streamed the entire event live on our daily crypto live show over on the moon and pointed out an inverse head and shoulder pattern that was forming. We said, hey, if we do get that correction in inflation, then in the short term, it's completely understandable that speculative traders can push us into a target of actually $64,200. That was the target we highlighted in the afternoon, exactly was hit, and we've breached above. I was actually streaming the testimony of Kevin Warsh in front of the subcommittee. It's his first ever testimony in front of Congress. So much bad mouthing about crypto has been done. Congressmen and women are clearly concerned about the administration, their involvement in crypto, and therefore can affect the passing of the Clarity Act. Fingers crossed. I had to cut that stream short to make a video on Bitcoin and its future, because not only have we reached the target of the inverse head and shoulder, but we're breaking above critical patterns that we conversated on prior videos, like the falling wedge pattern on the short-term daily, like, for example, the inverse and shoulders that had formulated. Maybe it was this chart and I may have lost it. So we can redraw it, no issues at all. 4-hourly time frame, inverse head and shoulders. Then you've got a greater W formation too. It just depends on perspective, but all of these bullish patterns can be made a plausible case of presenting to you and saying, look, multiple things are conjoining and saying that we go up in the short term. We actually go higher in the short term. My target is the 200 daily moving average. I have long positions set on BTCC. I see the 200 daily moving average being met for Bitcoin before the end of this month, or at least getting very close to it. We identify a lower high and see our corrective phase into the ultimate low that gets generated in Q4 of this year, the midterm year. This is my expectation. When we take a look at the second week of July in 2018, the cycle that we're following oh so beautifully. Second week of July, we had that same inverse head and shoulder. We broke out to the 200 daily moving average and we corrected. Same story goes for now. Following a May top, a May hit to the 200 daily moving average and taking out your February low in June. In this correlation, we should expect a 70K Bitcoin before the end of this month, and that's what I'm looking forward for. That is how I'm positioning myself. If you want to take positions on Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, check out the first link in the description down below to our partner exchange Levex in order to receive VIP level 5 special discounts on trading that can compound to a lot of money over time. Do make sure to check that out. I need the volume though. I'm not changing up anything. I still have my Forex leverage position on Bitcoin. I've got a position on Ethereum. I'm not FOMOing. I'm keeping patient. I'll keep those positions open even if we were to dump to 57.5K theoretically. I'll still be in my longs and I'll still want to see that hit to the 200 daily moving average. Is there anything else that I can mention to you? I'm sure there must be. What does the 200 daily moving average correspond with? It corresponds with this huge falling wedge pattern that Bitcoin is forming, not just on that 4-hourly zoomed in daily, but greaterly on the 4-day daily time frames. The resistance is the same, 73, 72K. Guess what happened in the prior bear market? Bitcoin did the same similar falling wedge pattern. You broke above its resistance that corresponded with the 200 daily moving average, and after that breakout, boom, you restarted your bull market. Same story. So I'm buying. I am a Bitcoin buyer. I'm a Bitcoin buyer. I like Bitcoin right now. I don't want to speculate too far ahead into the future, but now is a price point that I'm okay with entering in from a low leveraged trading angle and also a spot buying, accumulating, DCAing angle. When will I scale up those positions? As soon as we can get a breakout above the 200 daily, end off the bear market, and on we go to reaching in a path that will not be instantaneous, but on a pathway to getting to new all-time high price action. Hopefully that makes sense. The trap that's being set, I wanted to get around to the trap. The trap that's being set is inflation. So crude oil is up. I see crude oil reaching to $82, closing the gap to the upsides. Geopolitics is in high heat. There's third consecutive night of strikes from America's side against Iran. Iran is retaliating. Other countries in the Middle East are also partaking in military action. It's not good at all. Energy will likely continue to push upwards. And if it does, then July's inflation data will rocket again. Will the Fed cut rates? I do not think the Fed is going to be cutting rates in 15 days at all. They could have hiked them, but since core CPI was cool, I don't see them hiking. They will just likely keep them where they are at the moment. But will we get any sort of altcoin season? No. Fed's Waller says that Kevin Warsh's task forces are trying to find a way of reducing the balance sheet. Kevin Warsh does not like quantitative easing. He says that it's a way of making the rich richer and the poor poorer. If the balance sheet does not increase, then altcoin season will not come around. Sure, altcoins will pump here and there still, like Ethereum. I love Ethereum. Ethereum is a much better W formation than what Bitcoin has. I'm in an Ethereum long position over on BTCC2. If we breach above this neckline with confirmed bullish volume, I see a $2,000 Ethereum in the short term. So yes, altcoins will present opportunities. Solana, we're above the daily falling wedge. We faked us out, we got the liquidity, now we're trying to rebound to the upside. So I'm long on Ethereum, long on Bitcoin, long on XRP. That, guys and girls, concludes the technical analysis. What about Michael Saylor? What really happened? What went down yesterday? Very good question. So Michael Saylor, thank God, actually did not end up selling any Bitcoin. Neither did Strategy end up purchasing new Bitcoin. So non-sold, non-purchased. The holdings held steady at 843,775 BTC. They accumulated $466 million worth of cash, which was done through diluting MSTR shareholders, of course, and making it less lucrative to be an MSTR shareholder. With that cash, what are they going to do? They've got a couple of options. Of course, they have their options on how they can prioritize their cash. They can either buy up preferred equities, they could pay off expenditures in the future, or maybe even just keep it as an extra reserve for the credit rating agencies to make seem their finances more bulletproof. They will decide. For me, SATE is a better option than Stretch. SATE is almost back to parity. They're giving daily dividends and they're back to accumulating Bitcoin. So Stretch versus SATE, I would go with SATE. This is a temporary bear market. When the bear market is done, Saylor should be on the course of accumulating again. Not dollars, but hopefully more Bitcoin. The amount of sales are so teeny tiny. We just need to look at the macro picture. My only upsetness with Saylor is him going from sell your kidney, sell your tooth, never sell your Bitcoin, to out of nowhere buy more Bitcoin than you sell. Ladies and gents, that is a wrap for today's update. Hopefully Bitcoin can keep its momentum. If it does, you know the drill. Initially, we've got resistance at 67.5K. The real neckline of the W is at that 66 to 67K level. The volume profile based point of control also sits right over there. Short-term resistance can be found, but eventually the 200 daily moving average is where I want to see us before the end of the month. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.